Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Top Shelf podcast. Hope you're all well. Of course, we are with myself, Ross, and my co-host, Paul, talking about the goings-on of football over the last couple of weeks since we last uploaded. Thank you very much for the support on the last episode that we got. Do appreciate it. Of course, like we always say, if you could share it around and like the video as well, that would be appreciated. It does help us out. But we'll just start off with a bang, and we'll start with Steve Clarke's train for Scotland. Of course, playing Cyprus in the bid for Euro 2024. Since we last spoke to you, Paul, did you watch the game? How'd you find it?
Well, I tried to watch the game. It was. I tried to watch the game. It was. From what I saw, it was a very mediocre game. It wasn't.
It's the definition of game of two halves. Job done in the first half, foot off the gas second half. Very poor.
It was a very Scotland game.
Yeah, I think
good back in the day.
Good to watch. Scott McTominay, goal scoring hero for Scotland again. John McGinn back in the goals. Ryan Porteous getting his first goal for Scotland as well, worth mentioning. It's a very disciplined, very good, solid performance for Scotland, and now just 2 points away from another European Championships since the last one. Hopefully we get there. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we
easily
can do a bit better next time. Of course, there will be a lot of people booking their tickets for Germany already, and I, for one, will hopefully be on that soon, because going to watch them in a European Championship is just something that I've never been able to do, something that I would love to be able to do. So, obviously, I'm sure that can be organised. But as well, just on that, the England game was the complete opposite. I think
that was terrible.
Safe to say, England showed their quality in a game where they probably were, I wouldn't say underdogs. I think underdogs is a push for England.
What, England? The underdogs?
Yeah, no, like they weren't underdogs, but we were on better form than
England were never the underdogs.
No, that's what I mean. It is wrong to say underdogs, but they were on worse form. On the back of a very poor performance against Ukraine, we're on the back of 6 wins in a row. 11 wins in a row if you count the whole Scotland in general. But yeah, the quality showed. Bellingham absolutely pissed on the whole Scotland midfield. Walked, danced around players, made us all look like we'd not won anything in the last year. So Foden again untouchable. Kyle Walker just frightening down the right side. Gave Robertson all kind of problems.
Walker that game. I hated him.
I hate him every game.
I hated him every England game. I hate him every City game. He's on it.
I think it's fair to say it was comments made by somebody the other day that Kyle Walker is playing the best football of his career at the moment. He's just looking like he's now City captain, starting every game. He's getting involved in terms of what he's contributing going forward. Obviously, his first goal for England as well. Playing brilliantly, and like I say, just made Robertson look like a very amateur left back in that game.
Obviously, Robertson gave away the second goal.
Yeah,
that was terrible from Robertson. I don't know what he was doing.
Scotland, again, a very Scotland-esque performance, and we don't really have any clear-cut chances and score a goal without having a shot on target. Big Harry Maguire, what a man.
Oh, he's the top scorer for us. He will be.
Mental. It's crazy that a player who is worth 80 million, apparently is worth 80 million, is just declined. He's done nothing but decline since he joined United. Since he got captaincy for United, he's just declined as a player. And you knew when he came on something was going to happen, whether it be him scoring for England.
When I saw him warming up, I was like, we are getting a goal. I'm so glad he is coming on. We're getting a goal. And then when every time he was getting the ball, you just
boo. He was getting booed and he was getting like, it was so funny.
Great.
He's turned out and said that he'd rather it was on him than the whole team, which is, it's a big thing to say, because, he's saying he can handle the pressure and he's gone and scored an own goal, but
when he scored, I couldn't control my laughter.
Yeah.
It was the
but that kind of sparked Scotland, because we had a spell like 10-15 minutes after that where we did look like we were going to score, but then, like I said, Bellingham, Harry Kane just completely put that right to bed about 10 minutes later. But obviously, I think it's a big example of money, and like how England have Real Madrid, top league players playing for them. Scotland are they're getting better gradually, but we're still far off the likes of France, England, and all that. So can't really say we can compete with the big dogs yet, but I can see it happening maybe soon.
Our quality needs to come from us shipping our players abroad. We're already doing that, because it was like 10 out or 9 out of the 11 players in the starting squad don't play in Scotland. They all play in either England, Spain, or Italy, or somewhere else.
Yeah, it was definitely something that showed, like I say, very early on. You could see that the likes of, for example, Callum McGregor playing in a holding midfield role for Scotland, getting run at by, a player like Jude Bellingham, just made him look very average. And it showed in the European games, though. We've had the big players step up: Robertson, McTominay, Adams. Mm-hmm. Everyone that plays in the bigger leagues have performed for Scotland, but just we looked very poor.
Adams was terrible.
Adams really hasn't been great.
Really poor that game.
I'd have started Dykes, maybe even give Shankland a run. That's not me being Hearts biased, but I would have at least gave him a run because he does deserve it with what he's doing with Hearts. But
I thought he would have came on near the
end. So did I.
Dykes, but I'm glad they got Adams off and they wanted to change, but still didn't make a difference.
Scotland, like I said, 2 points away from Europe. Hopefully we'll get there, and I think next game is against Norway, if I'm not mistaken, or is it? Yeah, Norway. So hopefully at home we can qualify for Europe behind home fans. So, excuse me. Moving on to Premier League, of course, Premier League's happened as well. Nothing really major to report on, if I'm being honest. No. A few results that may be worth mentioning. For me, the main one being that horrible result at Old Trafford for Manchester United. A starting 11 worth over 150 million at least, maybe even over 200 million. Brighton starting 11, 14 or 16 million for their starting 11. Man United done an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. I'm sat here, Man United fan, watching that thinking, what on earth is going on? We're just looking very poor at the moment, and I'm horrified. I'm horrified for what's going to happen between now and even Christmas time. We could be the Chelsea of last year.
You were like this. Was it last year or the year before, where you were terrible? You were losing to like Forest and everyone.
No, I think it's been
when you had the lime green.
That was last year. Yeah.
Aye, you were like that last year, and then you picked it up after Christmas.
I mean,
so we could have the same.
We're 5 games in. And if you compare that, 5 games in, we've won 2, lost 3, minus 4 goal difference, obviously 6 points. You compare that to last year. 5 games last year, we had 9 points. So we're only 3 points worse off, but we're playing so much worse.
Yeah. Where are you sitting in the table right now?
We're sitting 13th. We're on 6 points along with Newcastle and Brentford, and we're a point ahead of Chelsea. But for me, the big thing for me is how disappointing Onana's been. He's come in and honestly,
I said this.
Man United fans can probably agree here that we've got potentially one of the best goalkeepers the club's ever seen currently as a free agent.
Yep.
We've signed Onana for the money we did, and after the Bayern game, he's faced 15 shots on target and he's conceded 9 goals.
He's, as I said before, I've said this so many times, is that he's not a keeper for Man United. Man United's keeper is a keeper like De Gea, like a keeper like De Gea, Ter Stegen, Kevin Trapp, everyone like that. Yeah. Onana is not a United keeper.
See, if you mix David De Gea's shot stopping with Onana's distribution, perfect keeper. But right now we've got brilliant distribution. Wants to come out and play as a sweeper, make things happen with his distribution. I'm all for that.
He does too much. Like, see with Ederson, he'll come out like a little bit. He'll do the odd skill, which annoys the living shit out of everyone.
Cruyff turn.
Aye. He'll do that, but then he'll go back or he'll offload it quick. Onana just tries too much, and then it seems like he crumbles under pressure.
Yeah, I don't know what it was like in the Brighton game, but João Pedro's goal, for example, it's hit right at him. It's about here. All he has to do is just catch it, palm it in there, but he palmed it to the left and palmed it into the top corner. It's such a bizarre goal to get your head around because it's hit right at him. And David De Gea is saving those. David De Gea is cleaning that up, but Onana just doesn't seem to be cutting it for me. But
to be fair, João Pedro is on top form at the minute.
No, that's his 3rd goal. Yeah. He scored against United 2 like yesterday in the Europa League. So obviously 1 goal again against Luton, first game of the season. So good signing for Brighton, I would say. Yeah. Looked good. I don't think he started many games, but comes on and makes a difference.
He will start more as the season.
You'll think about it. Brighton are blessed with 3 Brighton strikers: Welbeck, Ferguson, and Pedro. They play 1 striker. So who do you start out of those 3?
Well, Ferguson's your young talent. João Pedro is probably your main striker, and then.
But look at Welbeck scored again.
Welbeck is. I like to think Welbeck is kind of like Callum Wilson, right? I think Welbeck's like a bench player, and then he comes on, and then he'll get a goal.
I think Welbeck. See, when he was at Man United, when he was young and he was like up and coming, he was brilliant. He left United to go to Arsenal. Fair play, done well there. He scored against us so many times since he left, and I'm actually starting to hate him. Every time we play Brighton, I just always think Danny Welbeck's going to score. But
yeah,
so it's just mental that you've got the likes of City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal that we've all played at home since we got beat off Brighton last season, and we've beat them all, or we've been unbeaten against everyone at Old Trafford since the first game of last season. The next team to beat us at Old Trafford is Brighton. I don't know when it was, and I'm not going to try and guess, but I can't remember the last time we beat Brighton. They beat us home and away last year, and then they beat us, I think, away the season before that as well, because they absolutely pumped us. It was like 3 or 4 now, I'm pretty sure there, but we just can't seem to beat Brighton.
They're a hard team.
They're a good side, and they are definitely. They're causing many problems, and I think as well, Man United need to pick it up, or else we're in deep trouble. But obviously, enough of United. We'll move on to another very, not shocking result, I would say, but I would say an entertaining game: Sheffield United Tottenham. Crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to go the way it did. Like the fact that Sheffield were up 1-0 for the whole game, basically.
Didn't deserve it either. It was completely against it.
Obviously, because Spurs have been brilliant.
Yeah.
I hate saying it, but they've been brilliant.
Big Ange ball at its finest.
Aye, but they've been very good, and then they get 2 goals in the last 8 minutes or something like that. Like
it wasn't even the last 8 minutes. It was 90. I'm pretty sure it was 90 plus 8, 90 plus 11.
This is a joke.
Richarlison goal, Richarlison assist. Fair play to him. He's done wonders there, but
it was good because he deserves it after coming out with all the mental health stuff.
Yeah,
so he deserves it after all that.
Fair play to him. He's got big shoes to fill. You're not going to dispute that. He's filling a 206 goal for Tottenham Hotspur striker and Harry Kane.
Yeah,
that's from what I can recall, it's his second goal for Spurs in competitive games in the league, because he scored against Liverpool last year.
So, yeah.
But he's got big shoes to fill, and you're not going to come in and replace Harry Kane. Harry Kane is irreplaceable. You're not going to get 206 goals from anywhere else in the Premier League.
No, that's
so
like
it's difficult for him.
Replace Alan Shearer at Newcastle.
Big result for Tottenham. Unlucky for Sheffield United, they had it in their hands, bottled it big time, and then got a man sent off after that. So,
yeah.
You've got to feel for them that they had it in their hands. Like I say, now you've got Tottenham sitting unbeaten, 8 goal difference, 13 points, 4 wins and a draw. Big Ange is doing serious stuff there, and
scary.
Could be that, like you said last time, they've not got Champions League, not got Europa League or Conference League, not got any Europe. They're out the Carabao Cup.
Yep.
So they've literally got the league and FA Cup to focus on. And for me,
main focus is
getting Champions League, I would say.
Ange is wanting a trophy.
He wants a trophy, and obviously realistically now it's going to be the FA Cup. They're not winning the league. I don't think they're going to win the league.
He wants to get rid of the dust on the trophy cabinet. But
he's a non-winner.
Cup. He wants more trophies.
Audi Cup. Arsenal, disappointing for me, I would say, last weekend.
Arsenal.
A 1-0 win against Everton away.
Just that, what was it, Sunday?
Sunday.
Because it was Chelsea Bournemouth, and then it was
we'll
Everton
not even
Arsenal.
talk about that.
It was just the 2 worst games. Of
1 goal in 180 minutes of football.
It was terrible. The Bournemouth-Chelsea game was terrible, and then Everton-Arsenal game I turned off, so I didn't even see the goal.
Yeah.
I saw it in the highlights.
Good goal, good worked corner, but it took them, I think it was like 27 seconds to actually get the ball onto the spot, take the corner. 26 seconds, and Arteta moans about other people time wasting, but fair play to Trossard. He's come in, injured Martinelli. He didn't injure Martinelli, but he came on for the injured Martinelli, produced a moment of magic that won Arsenal the game. But
he seems to be playing decent.
Scored again yesterday as well.
Yeah, he scored. Did he get? No, he was close to getting an assist, I think.
I think he did. I think he got Jesus' assist. But that's Arsenal looking very poor. All the big teams look poor for me. Like City, Tottenham, Liverpool are probably the most impressive out of the top 4 just now.
I don't
Arsenal
think they're
were poor,
impressive.
but I think Arsenal were poor on a day where they caught Everton. Everton were just woeful. Sean Dyche's long ball, just typical Brexit football, is not working anymore. You've got loads of managers coming in that have a style of play that's playing football, playing out for the back, certain ways to play in the middle, inverted fullbacks and all that stuff. Sean Dyche is just bog standard, 4-4-2.
He's not
just Brexit ball.
He's not a Premier League manager.
I hate to say it because I absolutely love the guy. He's done so much for Burnley. Got them European football for the first time in their history, I'm pretty sure, and he's a brilliant guy as well. He's brilliant in his interviews. He's just a passionate guy that just wants to be a manager, but I think he's getting a bit of his depth. I think he's one of the worst managers in the league at the moment, and it's so tough to say, but
he needs to go to the Championship or somewhere abroad.
Everton,
I'll take him at Hearts. We need a manager.
I know. Everton sitting obviously 18th, no surprise. Very poor, very poor. Burnley picking up their first point. On the subject of Burnley with Sean Dyche picking up their first point.
Yep, that's
1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest. 2 brilliant goals. Hudson-Odoi's finish was just... I feel sorry for the Burnley keeper.
I think it's a goal of the season.
Has to be. I wouldn't say goal of the season. Goal of the month, definitely.
But
some hit, it's an angle, he's curved it, it's hitting inside the post, and it's unstoppable. Some strike.
I completely forgot he signed for Forest.
So did I.
I thought he was still at Chelsea.
So did I. No, I knew he'd left. I knew he'd left Chelsea, but I didn't know he was at Nottingham Forest until that game. But yeah, obviously West Ham's unbeaten run coming to an end with your lot. Very, very good game. Very good game to watch. West Ham looked good at the start, but Ward-Prowse again coming in clutch. But
just City didn't look good.
They didn't. They've not looked good at all this season.
Ward-Prowse is on top form as well.
Yeah, he's flying. He's
playing very well. I thought West Ham were going to get a lot.
Brilliant bit of business, selling Rice for that money and bringing in Ward-Prowse for the fund they did. That's business at its best. Mm-hmm. Obviously, West Ham, a good start to the game, fell off, but City.
Obviously, playing at West Ham away is a very hard game because of the atmosphere and all that. But it's City. Like Haaland recently for me isn't looking.
He missed a couple of. He scored against West Ham, didn't he?
He scored, but he missed
many chances.
I think two
big chances,
2 clear chances.
One was pretty much an open goal.
Yeah, and then he missed it.
Tuesday night as well, missed a bad load as well. But
he missed about 5.
See, for me, and I'm sure I know you've obviously got stuff you need to say on City, but for me, you're one of your best players at the moment, and he's probably playing the best football since I've seen him. It's Alvarez.
Yeah,
Alvarez.
I'm loving him at the minute.
See,
I'm loving him.
This might be controversial, right? But see, out of all of your injured players at the moment, your De Bruyne's, obviously John Stones in the same position, but your De Bruyne's, your Bernardo Silva's, and Grealish. For me, Alvarez is head and shoulders above them at the moment. De Bruyne coming back for me is the only one out of those injured players that you will miss. Alvarez is coming in with goals, assists. Mm-hmm. He's popping up in the right, left, in the middle. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
He's played 2 games over the weekend on Saturday and Tuesday, and he got 2 goals in Champions League, and he set a couple up against West Ham.
Yeah.
He's flying, and he's World Cup winner. You know, showing his experience and his class now and his quality, and he will be a big player for you. So he'll be the Rodri, the John Stones that you've had over the last few years. Yeah. He'll come in clutch at the big times. He'll be the Gundogan, coming in with the goals when you need it, last minutes, crucial goals. You know, when you're 1-0 wins, he'll be the one that's getting them, and he'll be massive for you this season. Even if Haaland goes injured, Alvarez seems to be doing better than Haaland.
If Haaland gets injured, then Alvarez is the main striker. And see if Haaland gets a very long injury, like he busts his knee or something, he's out for months. Alvarez going into the middle.
You've got De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva coming back as well.
He will hold the middle, but they'll need to play different. Because obviously they've started to play different for Haaland. They just try and lob it in for Haaland. Whereas for Alvarez, he can cut in and out, and then he can score with that. He doesn't need all the long balls around him.
But see, I think we're talking Haaland this way because he's got so much to live up to. Last season, he broke so many records. He's not doing that again this year. So we were going to be disappointed with him this season because he's never going to do that well again.
He's hungry. He's hungry for them. So I think once he gets a few goals, the floodgates will open. Yeah. And I hope they open this weekend when they play Forest. Yeah. Because I've triple captained him on fantasy. So I want him to get a hat-trick. Yeah. I put Alvarez in my fantasy this week. So he better deliver. Because knowing Pep Roulette, he'll be on the bench because he's played pretty much 90 minutes, obviously the weekend and on Tuesday. And because we put him in our fantasy. Always happen.
Yeah, I know. Just obviously in the Premier League as well, of course, Villa and Newcastle getting back to winning ways. Very boring game with Newcastle again. A very, 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 very poor game. A penalty that's very controversial has won them it. A goal that was disallowed for Newcastle as well. Denying Callum Wilson 2 goals was never a foul, but back to winning ways. Eddie Howe will be happy. And of course, Villa leaving it late as well. 86th, 87th minute, they got their equaliser and then scored 2 after the 95th minute. So again, those 2 teams getting back to winning ways. Obviously, current look table, we've got top 4 is City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, all unbeaten. City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, all unbeaten is the top 4, and then Brighton, West Ham, and Villa in the European spots. Bottom 3, obviously Everton, Burnley, and Luton. Will it stay that way? Do you think? There'll be many changes between now and the end of the season?
Brighton, Villa, and West Ham are up that high, especially because they're also playing in Europe.
I'm worried about Brighton because I've got them in my last man standing, which, if you don't know, is a thing where you pick a team and they have to win. They've just had that European game yesterday. I don't know if they'll suffer from
the weekend again?
Bournemouth.
No.
At home on Sunday, so they'll have plenty of time.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, hopefully.
No, they'll be fine. They'll win like 3-1.
But in terms of those spots we've just mentioned there, can you see any major changes happening between now and say Christmas? Do you think it'll be similar? Do you think Burnley will pick up? Because they've been shafted with a run, to be fair. They've had City, Tottenham, Villa, Forest.
I don't think they have an easy run.
They don't.
We looked at this, I think, last
week. United this weekend.
They don't have an easy run at all. So Burnley are in serious trouble and they could go down.
Do you see Company's comments?
No.
Saying that if United are one win away from a crisis, and out of everyone, he'd love to be the one to put them in that crisis. Ex-City player and all that.
Well, that would be good.
Yeah.
I will be supporting. But
Company's done wonders with Burnley, though. But
in the Championship, just not in...
He's got the right style of play, so I think Burnley will be fine. But obviously, that's the current Premier League table. A few boring games, nothing really majorly to report on. Obviously, we can very briefly touch on mine and Paul's Scottish club Hearts as well, getting back to winning ways. 2-0 Aberdeen.
Thankfully.
I know, finally. Still,
we were.
As well as we played, still can't get on board with the whole Naismith and this management structure thing. Can't get on board with it. Good to see Boyce back on the score sheet.
Mm-hmm.
After nearly a year, just over a year, getting back on the score sheet. He's been a massive miss.
Very, very
With Ginnelly leaving, we needed him back.
Yeah.
So good to see him back on the score sheet. Oda as well.
I'm glad he
caused problems.
I'm glad he's finally picking up. I know he's been playing well in the past few games, but now he's getting the goals that I'm hoping he just keeps continuing.
I wasn't that keen on him when he first signed because I'm kind of sitting there thinking, who is this guy?
I think at the end of the last season,
last game of the season against Hibs, he looked good.
Yeah,
and then also first game of the season against St Johnstone this year, he looked good. And then he got taken off at half-time in one of the European games just because he didn't touch the ball. And I'm like, is he going to be another Gary Mackay-Steven type player where he's not going to be in games unless he's... Gary Mackay-Steven was a player that would thrive if he wasn't getting basically ran. If somebody... He wasn't a kind of take on another player kind of player. Gary Mackay-Steven was a feeble player. He'd go down easily. If he got any form of player against him who was stronger than him, he'd just bottle it. So I didn't want Oda to be like that, but he's caused a lot of problems.
Oda needs just more training. He is still young. 20. He's near enough same age as us, isn't he?
He is quite young, but he's looking good. He's looking at the kind of player that we've missed.
But knowing Hearts, they'll let him go next season.
Yeah, I know. It's like losing Ginnelly. If Steve had said to me losing Ginnelly at the start of last season, I'd been like, fine, go. But he was so good last year. Some of the goals he scored, him and Shankland together were just brilliant. But hopefully Oda and Boyce coming back will, make up for the fact that we've lost probably our most influential player last year. When it mattered, he was coming up with big things, Ginnelly. But scored at the weekend for Swansea, Ginnelly.
Did he?
Yeah.
I've not been keeping up with him.
Yeah, he scored. It might have been Tuesday, but he did score for Swansea. I think it might have been Tuesday actually against whoever Swansea were playing. I can't remember, but he did score.
Good.
Also, European football's been as well. First week of Champions League, Europa League, Conference League.
Yeah.
Some results that again might.
Scottish teams. Well, Rangers and Aberdeen played well. Celtic didn't.
Disastrous.
Disastrous.
9 men, 2 red cards in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was...
Joe Hart penalty save, fair play. Poor penalty you'd expect. It's his job, as Roy Keane would say. Poor penalty, but given the circumstances, Champions League, with 1-0 down, it is a big save to make. So
the free kick, though, Celtic should have a keeper that'd be saving that.
Yeah, no.
I think Joe Hart's
a lot of Celtic players, fans complaining that they should have brought a keeper in.
Yep, should have.
I agree.
Joe Hart has passed it. He's too old.
It's so sad to see the decline of somebody that was the number one for their country.
Well, it's like how Ben Foster done the right thing. He retired after making mistakes at the start of the season, saying I should be saving that.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want to put the club down.
Yeah. No, it's fair play.
So that's what Joe Hart should do.
Again, it's
either
sad
retire or bugger off.
Joe Hart was class for Celtic last year, and like I say, when he played for City, he was good. Obviously. But now he's obviously went to Torino to try and get his career back on track. Burnley, West Ham, now Celtic. probably never going to get a look in with England again, even though he's not confirmed as retired, as far as I'm aware. He's not going to get a look in.
No, he's never getting over Pope, Pickford,
Johnson,
Dean Henderson,
Ramsdale. Ramsdale.
Like, he's never getting ahead.
Well, to be fair, Ramsdale's not even getting in there now because it was David Raya for Arsenal, both games.
Aye, but they want. What is it? Arteta said he wants to make subs for the keepers.
Yeah, I don't understand Arteta at all, but
I think he might try it. He might try it this
too
weekend.
glad to be fair. I just don't.
They might swap. It'll be like Soccer Aid.
See when Sanchez, see Sanchez, the Brighton keeper, when he went to Chelsea. I was praying that Kepa was leaving because Sanchez is too good to be a number 2. It's the same with David Raya. He's too good to be a number 2.
Yeah,
he was Brentford's number 1. He had like the best save percentage last year, and I think outside of the Golden Glove, like obviously Alisson, Ederson, and De Gea last year, and Pope, he kept the most clean sheets behind the 4 best defences in the league. Even though Brentford's results weren't the best, he still did make loads of saves. Probably got Brentford the position they finished, and did get a lot of clean sheets as well. And that wasn't just down to defence; that was down to him making big saves. You can put Ederson's clean sheets down to the defence being class.
Defence.
But Raya had a very average backline in front of him and probably kept Brentford in a lot of games.
I honestly think, for him being a second keeper, I would take David Raya over Onana any day.
I'd take my gran over Onana. Onana's just like he's
like
we'll get into the game, but
I wouldn't say David Raya is a United keeper. I don't think he's the right fit.
No,
I don't think he's that on United's level of what they should.
De Gea must be sitting at home thinking, how the fuck am I?
Just sign him back,
We could. But I mean, the fact that our sub-keeper, you've got Raya backing up for Ramsdale, you've got Ortega, good keeper for City, backing up for Ederson, and you've got Kelleher and Adrian, average, do a job for Liverpool. We've got Tom Heaton.
Don't forget about Scott Carson for City.
We've got Tom Heaton as our number 2. If
Tom Heaton is he's a number 2.
But
he's a number 2.
No, he is.
Or a low end.
But what I mean is,
number 1.
Why have we got such a poor number 2? Why did we focus so much on signing a keeper when realistically we could have kept De Gea but signed another keeper?
That's what you should have done. You should have kept De Gea as number 2.
I would have kept De Gea as number 1.
Well, at this current stage, you would have him as number 1. But like at the start of the season, you would have Onana as number 1, and then De Gea as number 2, and Heaton's number 3. But if you had that, you'd probably ship Heaton on loan.
I wouldn't even put him on loan. I'll just have him as the Lee Grant, just kind of working with the keepers.
Because Heaton is a decent keeper.
He was, yes, to be fair, yeah.
And if he went on loan to, say, like a championship team, he could get so much better, and then when he comes back after like a year or 2 to United, he's taken over De Gea.
He's nearly 40, so I think he'll probably be retiring shortly. But obviously, as we mentioned, Champions League's back. Obviously, I know it's very early days. We're only 1 game weekend, but I've seen a lot of people since Tuesday saying that Barcelona are the ones to watch for the whole competition. How do you feel about that?
They played very well, but you also have to keep in mind they were playing Antwerp.
Yeah, I know.
It was 5-0.
I had 5-0 on my Super 6 prediction, so I think a lot of people expected it.
It was a good 5-0. João Felix was the best player on the pitch.
By a mile.
And
what was it, 2 goals and an assist from what I can see here?
Yeah, the fact that he went from being terrible at Chelsea, not terrible, but like
just not as good as
poor quality.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
to then go to Barca and then just step it up. It's just.
I didn't even know he signed for Barca. I'm sure you said that to me as well. I didn't. When did he go to Barca? He was at Chelsea. We went back to Flick and was like, when the hell did he sign for Barca?
Was he on loan as he signed? Was it no near the time that Gundogan?
If Barca are building, Xavi's building a squad. Like obviously he's got Gundogan in, he's got João Cancelo in, and he's got João Felix in. 3 big upgrades.
And then you've got Lewandowski up top.
You've got Rafinha, you've got
Pedri,
Gavi.
Rafinha's goal was very lucky.
I still can't believe he went there, but obviously that we touched on as well where the current holders, City looking very poor, 1-0 down, playing very, very, very short.
That one, who was it? I think it was Diaz that he ran. He let the boy run past. I can't mind his name.
Yeah.
That was just such an easy goal. I don't know why we were playing so far up the park.
I'm surprised Pep went so strong. That's what surprised me. Like, he went full strength, and I'm very surprised that he did. But also that man again, Rodri, securing the win.
Obviously, it had to be Rodri.
Yeah, I know.
But the free kick was brilliant.
What's the goalie doing, Tom? That's all I can say. What is the keeper doing there, man? He's basically just completely skipped past him. Very poor performance from the keeper on that part. But if we're talking about keepers and good performances, mention Lazio. Keeper, equaliser.
That
number 94, 94th minute. Just saying.
And he is 1.94 metres tall. What was it? There's loads of 94 correlations with him. I think he was born in 1994 or something. Maybe? No, it was something weird. But it's just all 94.
Some header, to be fair, by the way. Some ball in as well. Some header.
It was.
But one
good
thing,
goal.
I didn't watch it.
Good assist.
I didn't watch it, but watching the highlights, it felt like you could hear a pin drop. The atmosphere was so bad.
It was when Immobile missed the utter sitter. He's six yards out and he just boots it straight at Jan Oblak. And you don't even hear anyone. You don't hear the Lazio fans just shouting abuse at him, which you should be. And you don't hear the Atletico fans just going like gasping, like like you don't hear anything. It's just silence.
Yeah,
and it sounded the worst game, and then it picked up all of a sudden. Like it was terrible.
Yeah, it was. It did seem like it was quite a crap game. I'm surprised that. To be fair, I thought Atletico Madrid would win it, but it seemed like it was a solid point, especially for Lazio, because from what I could gather, it was quite an Atletico Madrid heavy game. But
I think they both.
I think a draw was a fair result. I think a draw was a fair result.
Yeah, they both could have played better.
And also, just as well, on the final day of the Tuesday, anyway, the Champions League is obviously Newcastle, the Toons return.
That was the
worst
boring game.
Yeah, 90 minutes my life will never get back. And it's a game where you look at it. Did you watch it? You look at the game, how AC Milan did not score.
Aye.
Leao was skinned, pretty much. I mean, Botman, Trippier, Byrne, and Longstaff. All he has to do is he's tried to backheel it.
He could have scored. He saw his name in between the skylights, right?
And completely just bottled it.
Backheeled it. But to be fair, holding AC Milan
to the San Siro as well.
At the San Siro to a draw in the group of death, that is a very good result for Newcastle. Even because they're playing so poorly in the Prem, I thought it was just going to be a clean sweep for AC Milan.
A few players as well that, again, I knew one of them. I didn't know Loftus-Cheek had signed for AC Milan. Didn't know that.
I can't mind.
You were looking like I'm an alien, but yeah, Loftus-Cheek.
I can't mind if I did know that.
I knew he left Chelsea. Didn't think he'd went to AC Milan. Obviously, Pulisic I knew had signed for AC Milan.
There's too many weird transfers.
Also, Origi leaving AC Milan to go to Forest, but AC Milan, like I said, dominated the game. Newcastle had very, very little going forward.
Yeah.
Anthony Gordon was crap. Isak was terrible. Wilson, did Wilson start? No, Wilson came on. Wilson came on. Did not look good when he came on. And they started Jacob Murphy again. Did not play well when he came on. Almiron made a bit of a difference, to be fair. He ran at the fullbacks, which Gordon didn't do, which no one done. So fair, I think good point, poor point for AC Milan's point of view, but a good point for Newcastle's point of view because, like I say, Newcastle were very, very poor.
Speaking of the group of death, though, PSG winning 2-0 at Dortmund.
Expected
not at Dortmund, but against Dortmund. It was expected.
Given everything that went on with Mbappe, another goal.
Aye.
Penalty.
Yeah, of course it was a penalty.
I know.
But the fact that because it was only 2-0, I feel like Newcastle still have a small chance. They just need to pick up form again.
Well, Dortmund have lost pretty much their only player that was really, as described, the clutch player in Bellingham. They've lost him. Who have they realistically got now that's anyone special? I wouldn't say Dortmund are a threat to Newcastle. Who?
Royce,
yeah, but I mean,
best player ever.
PSG, I think, are going to top that group. I think it'll be very close between the other three, who comes second and who comes third. For me, it'll be AC Milan that'll come bottom, and then it'll be maybe Newcastle second at a push, and then Dortmund third.
I think Dortmund are going to lose points when they go to St James Park.
Oh, they will. I think they'll all lose points to St James Park. I'm not being dramatic. St James Park is an intimidating place. The atmosphere will put teams off. Newcastle will get at least 7 points from the games at St James's Park. Out of 3 games, they'll get 7 points.
No.
They'll draw with PSG, beat Dortmund, beat AC Milan. I'm telling you right now.
PSG will win against Newcastle.
Also,
Even though PSG have lost their main
three. Well, the main two, and Neymar and Messi.
Neymar, Messi, Verratti,
Right, also they signed
Sergio Ramos.
They signed Colomwani. They signed Ousmane Dembele. Decent replacement, I would say.
But
young.
Ousmane Dembele's injury prone, so he'll get injured in about 3
Drives
minutes.
a bit of an ambulance. He's that injury prone.
Aye. Colomwani was good last season, but
could have won France World Cup, but I think he kind of put one moment down to his whole career. But also Wednesday's games a lot more exciting. Also Arsenal's return, 4-0 win. Saka, Trossard, Jesus, Odegaard. Pretty much their three.
They were very, very
strong
solid
players. Odegaard's also signing a deal. Looked like a very, very good game. Saka, which I didn't actually know was his Champions League debut for Arsenal. Did not play the game in the Champions League for Arsenal until that game. Yeah, because also when he played for them last in Europe, they went out. Sorry, when he made his debut, they went in Europe. So it's his first game in the Champions League. Saka's quality. He's just on his day. He's untouchable. Trossard again. Not big shoes to fill, Martinelli, but a very, very, very competitive position in left wing. But with Trossard coming in for Martinelli, Trossard's done everything he needs to do. 2 goals and an assist in 2 games. Martinelli is obviously probably will find it difficult to come back into the squad because you know what Arteta's like, but fair play to him. Jesus as well. Hasn't been starting in the Premier League behind Nketiah, but probably
Jesus is just a solid player. He's a solid player at City. He's a solid player at Arsenal. He's just he's reliable. But Arsenal do have.
He's probably been looking at games. He came on against United, and what he's done is he's embarrassed Diogo Dalot, put the ball in the back of the net, and probably deserved to start the next again game. Then also the international break, fair play, then comes back on the back of a goal for Arsenal in the last game, which won them essentially. He's behind Nketiah again. And then Nketiah's just not been very good. I think they're relying too much on him. I don't know if they're trying to get him game time, get his confidence up. I don't know what they're doing with him. But I don't know. Jesus is night and day compared to probably any other, not any other striker in the whole league. It's maybe a bit dramatic, but like you say, he's solid and he knows where the net is. He's very good. He's a good finisher. Put him 1-on-1, you back him to score every time. Easily. Other English team, obviously we've briefly touched on it, but Bayern München against Man United. I think it's like I said to Paul, I think Man United started really strong. Obviously Eriksen missing that absolute sitter in the first half. First 10 minutes. Missed it, absolute sitter. And then Bayern Munich go up. Onana seems to just forget how to catch a ball, rolls it through his legs.
Can I also just point out, see Bayern Munich's, well, to be honest, Bayern Munich's first 3 goals, all used to play for English clubs. Sane, City, Gnabry was Arsenal, and then Kane was Spurs.
Yeah, I know. That Musiala though, he was frightening.
I think he's fantastic.
Gnabry's goal was all because of Musiala, and to be fair, you can't do anything about the second goal. It's a moment of brilliance. Kane's penalty. I'm not saying it because I'm bitter. Never a penalty, but just saying. Eriksen is from me to you away from whoever headed the ball. He's jumped up. His hand's like that. It's hit his hand. Not a natural position.
But it's because the ball is going towards the goal. It's hit his hand and it's diverted play.
But I just don't think.
I know it's balled hand, but because it's diverted play, it is a handball.
That commentator Darren Fletcher said to Owen Hargreaves in the commentary box, "Owen, you don't think this will be given since they're not in the Premier League." That was his words. That was given. He's not got time to get his hand out of the way. It's never a penalty. But Bayern Munich, fair play, they were class. That boy that came on, class goal. What Lindelof's doing? He's just left the ball to run past him. Some hit.
Aye. But to be honest, both keepers that game were terrible. Onana was terrible as usual, and then it was
Ulrich.
He is terrible. He's like he's not terrible. He was just poor that day. And to be fair, United, the first 2 United goals, they were horrible, lucky goals.
To be fair, Casemiro's first goal, even though he's put it in the back of the net as he sat down, it's good build-up play. It's like 1-2.
He's tripped over the ball.
Yeah, I know. But it's good build-up play. It's like 1-2, like literally quick passing, and then they're in the box. Obviously, second goal's a good header. You put yourself in the right area. It stopped being embarrassing. And Haaland's goal, again, he's kind of slipped as he's hit it, but it went in the back of the net. But I just think for me, Man United just... I think there's just players there that need to kind of have a reality check. For me, and I've seen it all over Twitter, all over Facebook, everywhere, you'll agree, Bruno Fernandes should not be captain.
No, he shouldn't, because of the fucking comments that he made, that he said that they weren't expecting much from going to Bayern. They weren't going to expect goals. You can't be saying that if you're a captain. If you're a captain, you have to be saying to your team, we're going out here, we're giving everything to this game, especially if it's Champions League against Bayern Munich, which is a massive game. It was one of the biggest games in the Champions League.
Probably one of the best games you'll get in the group stage, yeah.
Yeah, and he's saying that they're not going to expect anything.
Bruno Fernandes is whiny, he's lazy, he loses the ball. If we're getting beat, he just doesn't bother tracking back to try and win it back. He's always in the ref's face, trying to influence their decisions. In terms of coming up with something big against the big teams, he goes missing in the big games. Even this season, he's gone missing in every game. He's done nothing this season.
Well, I mean, he was playing, centre-back
looked like
at the weekend.
he looked like he was playing quite deep. Don't know what the thinking behind that is, but you don't put somebody who can't tackle in centre-back.
I think it's close to Ten Hag being away.
See, for me,
I think he's out
as well. I hate it because I've always said that we need to get rid of him. But Martial played class when he came on. Ran at players, won the free kick for the goal. Garnacho played well when he came on. Why did it take us until the introduction of two players?
You should be starting Garnacho.
I think he's more of an impact sub, to be honest. But yeah, if he's got someone in his locker, start him.
Yeah.
Like, look at him. He came up with a last-minute goal against Fulham, West Ham in the Champions League. Obviously, he came on in the FA Cup final and nearly scored 2, caused City problems. It's mental that he's behind the likes of, not Rashford as such, because he's probably has to be a starter, but he's behind the likes of Antony. He's behind the likes...
No, it shouldn't be. I think it should be Rashford on the left, Haaland up top, and then Garnacho on the right.
I would say, yeah, Garnacho, Haaland up front, Bruno on behind with Rashford on the left.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't look like Sancho's playing for us again, and then obviously I would play Amrabat and Casemiro as the two centre-mids. Eriksen, I don't think has been right since obviously what happened at the World Cup or the Euros, whatever it was. But he's been shocking. He's been terrible. Good last season. He had goals and assists in his, well, not goals so much, but assists in his locker last year. This year, just not been at it at all. He's too slow. Can he really compete with the pace of the game these days? And I think just needs to have a spell on the bench. Bring Amrabat in. So that's just my take on it. But Real Madrid as well, very, very boring game.
Very, very poor game.
Called it before that Bellingham would score, though. Just saying.
Of course he did. What was it, 94th minute?
92nd minute. Yeah.
Something like that.
And added time. Poor goal as well.
Union Berlin were...
Looked good, to be fair.
Were very...
stubborn.
They were okay.
They were hard to play.
Defensively, they were good. But they didn't have many chances. Real Madrid were all over them. Rodrigo played amazingly.
Where's Vinicius? Is he injured?
I think, yeah, he's injured, I think.
It's mental how... I know they're top of the Bundesliga, the La Liga, and they've not lost. Get that, totally.
Are they? I thought Barcelona were top.
No, Real Madrid were top. It's amazing how much Real Madrid have lost their identity when they've not had Vinicius and Benzema playing. I know Vinicius isn't left, he's just injured, but Vinicius and Benzema were at the heart of everything good about Madrid last year. That game at Anfield was all about Vinicius and Benzema. That game, even at home, it was all about them causing the problems. Even the season before, when they won it, they caused so many problems. They've lost so much. Bringing in Bellingham, great addition, but going forward, they just look very, very flat. Hosselu, what's that all about? Hosselu playing for Real Madrid.
He was doing my nutting.
Yeah, he missed.
I wanted to fucking just get my trainers on, go down to the stadium, and just shout at him to get off the pitch.
Yeah, he would.
He was terrible.
I think he got the whole game as well, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I don't know what. They must not have someone else to come on.
I don't think they do. I mean, obviously they've got Vinicius, who's probably been playing there, but he must be injured. But
I just think when Vinicius comes back, they're going to have they're going to massively improve, and this is why I said I think they'll win the Champions League.
Vinicius, Bellingham, Rodrigo, and then obviously if they're playing Hosselu there, but
they've also got Modric as well, though.
He's just brilliant. He's class.
Kepa's seeming all right.
38-year-old Modric just still pulls the strings, man. It's crazy.
Kepa's Modric is one of the best centre midfielders ever.
He could probably keep playing for football for club and country until he's in his box. He's got so much class.
Yeah.
That outside of the foot pass that he does, he just makes it look so easy. And I'm just so annoyed that he's sold, because I feel like, see if it was Modric 5-6 years ago, he'd have so much more to give. But because he's coming to the end of his career, you're not really expecting him to be around for much longer. But Modric is just class.
He's next level. As I said, he's one of the best.
He's still one of the best centre midfielders in the world, and he's 38-year-old.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much that he's got Real Madrid playing well. When Modric plays well, because he pulls the strings, Madrid seem to click. Like, he wasn't great on Wednesday, but neither were Madrid.
Yeah.
He seems to come up clutch, and obviously for Croatia as well. He's not retired for there yet, but again, seems to just be the kind of player that everyone wants in the middle of the park. I'd love him at United. I'd love him. He's not going to come to United. I'd love him.
No, he's staying at Real Madrid and he's going to retire soon.
He'll retire at Madrid,
100%. I think he's got one more year, like the Euros or a World Cup left.
Potentially,
not a World Cup, it'll be a Euros.
And last season,
he's done.
Just on the Champions League, finally, I would say the last not notable result as such, but last year's beaten finalists, Inter Milan. Very boring game against Real Sociedad. I had a bet on, I had Inter Milan on to win. I kept checking the stats, and I don't think Inter Milan had a shot on target until they scored. So Inter Milan were just poor.
Speaking of transfers as well, did you know Gosens went to Union Berlin? He's away from Inter.
I don't even know who was that.
Oh my god!
But no, I heard something about him because I did hear him mentioned at the Madrid game, but I didn't even know he was at Milan.
I know he was brilliant for Milan last year.
Yeah, it's just mental that Inter Milan got to the final last year, looked so good, and then looked so poor against an average Spanish side. I think it's the beauty of the Champions League, though. You're not expecting to win like Lens, for example. The Europa League winners against Lens, a 1-1 game. Galatasaray Copenhagen was a decent game, to be fair. 2-0 down. Galatasaray, were 2-0 down. Got it back to 2-2, and that's it finished. But obviously, very early days in the Champions League. For me, I still think the ones to watch will be Bayern Munich and Barcelona. I don't think City, if they keep doing what they're doing, City...
The two semi-finals will be Real Madrid, City, Bayern, and Barcelona. Maybe. I
think it's going to be between Bayern and Barca, with the slight chance that PSG and even Arsenal.
No.
Arsenal.
No. Arsenal are never going anywhere near a final in the Champions League.
No, not the final, but they'll go quite far.
They're not sniffing a quarter final.
I don't know.
And if they do, they'll get paired up with PSG, and PSG will knock them out.
And then we'll just touch on, I guess, some of the British teams in other European competitions. Rangers were one game away from the Champions League. Now Europa League beat Real Betis.
Yep, 1-0.
Could have been a lot more from what I hear, but solid win for them. Also, Aberdeen.
They're all right. Aberdeen were very, very solid against Frankfurt, because obviously that game reminded me of the Scotland and England game.
Oh, massively, yeah. What the golfing
due to the quality, and because Frankfurt was worth 200. No, is it 200 million? I've got it written down here somewhere. 200 million. Their club's worth. Aberdeen's club value is 7 million.
I don't know.
It's 193 million of a difference.
Fair play to them, though. Aberdeen, they battled. Probably the best performance I've had this season.
I hated the Frankfurt fans. I hated them. I know. They didn't like us for some reason. I don't know why they didn't like us. It's just, what have we done, Frankfurt fans?
Yeah, don't know.
Like, what have we done?
To be fair, Frankfurt are a good side. So for Aberdeen to hold them to 2-1 with the way they're playing in the league,
they were unlucky.
Fair play to them.
With the penalties. Was it 2 penalties?
Frankfurt won on penalties against Rangers, yeah. The Europa League, I thought you were talking about. Frankfurt won the Europa League against
Rangers. No, they are.
Sorry.
Got one of the penalties. I can't remember if the second goal was a penalty or not.
But fair play to Aberdeen, they battled. They went 1-0 down, but they got back into it. Fair play to them.
Rangers and Aberdeen played well. Celtic, on the other hand,
were bottled. But to be fair, again, I don't know much about the Celtic team, but I think the centre-half that got sent off first just is fairly new in the door, and I don't think no one expected him to start.
Yeah, well, it was a second yellow.
No.
It was a clear second yellow.
But Celtic...
And then the other one was a straight red.
Do you not see that stat? Celtic, from away games in the Champions League, since they've been playing Champions League football, they've had 102 points up for grabs. Guess how many they've got?
It's going to be something terrible, like
10. 10 points out of 102 away games. Now, if you calculate that down to games, that's 10, 20, 30. So that's 90.
Here comes the math.
So that's 30. 42 games. No, that's wrong.
Wait, something.
Anyway, however many games in the Champions League, and they've only got 10 points out of a possible 102. That is bad. So that's either 2 wins and 4 draws, or 3 wins and a draw. And bear in mind, one of those wins was against Barca.
Yeah, but I didn't want to talk about that.
That was just the worst and most surprise result. 2 shots on target, 2 goals, 27 or something % possession. But yeah, I think the European side will take its toll on a few teams. I think the likes of Brighton, obviously again yesterday struggling against.
Yeah, Brighton.
Was it Athens they played?
It was
Athens, I'm sure.
Where are they?
AEK.
Aye, Athens. Aye, they. I've got they were very even teams from what I saw. They were even. Athens' first goal. Don't know if you saw it. The header was brilliant.
No, I didn't see anything in that game.
He was basically on the edge of the box. He was unmarked for some reason, so it was Brighton's fault. Unmarked, and he just power headers it straight in. It was a brilliant goal.
To be fair, Ansu Fati played. I didn't know that.
Aye, Ansu Fati played. I don't think he done much.
Got taken off.
Aye.
Oh no, he didn't. He got the full game. It was Matoma that got taken off. Sorry. Played in behind. He didn't play it wide. He played in behind Pedro.
Aye. So, João Pedro played well.
Yeah, he's like I say, he's going to be a massive thing. He's going to be a massive signing for Brighton.
But in general, very, very even teams. I think Brighton were maybe unlucky to lose that.
Well, they were losing twice, got back into it twice.
Yeah, to lose 3-2.
Good character.
It was a good game.
Yeah,
but it was very, very even.
Still a long way to go in Europe. Obviously, Brighton looked getting beat, not what they want. Still a long way to go. How the English teams and British teams will do, I'm not sure. I can see Rangers maybe getting out of the group, but what happens from there, we don't really know. Yeah. But obviously, still, like I say, a very long way to go. Obviously, this has been filmed on the Friday, so there's still a full weekend of Premier League fixtures to go. So, hopefully another good weekend of results that we can touch on next week. But I think for now, that's us.
Yeah.
Everything we need to speak about. Obviously, like I said at the start, if you did enjoy, please do share it around, drop a like, and obviously subscribe to the channel if you're new. And hopefully, we can, like I say, get a good weekend of results in, and we can talk about them, and we can get another episode out next week. But until then, we'll see you soon. Cheers.